problem number 19. When we take a look inside of our parentheses, take note that we have x's and y's in our numerator and x's and y's in our denominator. Notice that the parentheses are being raised to the third power. We want to again think about the order of operations. In PEMDAS, that first letter P stands for parentheses. So we need to be asking ourselves, is there anything that we can do inside of our parentheses that can be simplified? We want to think about simplifying our parentheses, the inside of our parentheses first. So yes, there is stuff that we can simplify. I can rewrite the inside of my parentheses. So we're just going to think about the inside. We have an 18 over 6. We have x to the 5th over x to the 4th. We're dividing. That's going to be the quotient rule, where we take x to the 5 minus 4. We have y to the 3rd over y to the 1st. Again, the quotient rule, where we're going to take y to the 3 minus 1. And that's just inside the parentheses. Let's simplify. 18 divided by 6 is 3. 5 minus 4 is 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. And this is all being raised to the third power. Okay, now, this exponent of 3 is going to be applied to every single factor in our parentheses. So we now have 3 to the 3rd times x to the 3rd times y squared to the 3rd. I just dropped my exponent of 1 because I don't need the 1 right here. I mean, you can leave the 1 if you want to. Now what are we going to do? 3 to the 3rd is 27. We have the power rule. So we're going to take 1 times 3. That's 3. So that's going to be x to the 3rd. Again, utilize the power rule. 2 times 3 is 6. So we have y to the 6th. And there's our final answer. Let's take a look at problem number 20. In problem number 20, it's similar to problem number 19. We have integers in our numerator and denominator. We have x's and y's in our numerator and denominator. But also notice that we have x's, two sets of x's, 2 factors of x in our numerator. We have 2 factors of y in our denominator. It's all being raised to the power of 2. What we want to do is we want to simplify the inside of the parentheses as much as possible before we apply our exponent of 2. So let's take a look at all the things that are going on. I'm going to break this up into smaller parts. Let's take care of the x's that we have in our numerator. So I'm going to take care of x to the 5th times x squared. And let's take care of the y's that we have in our denominator. Y squared times y. So we have 6 x to the 5th times x squared. This is the product rule where we add. 5 plus 2 is 7 times y to the 5th. In our denominator, we have 9 x to the 4th. Again, the product rule. Y squared times y, that's 2 plus 1 is y cubed. All being raised to the 2nd power. And now let's talk about how we can simplify the inside of our parentheses with division or the quotient rule. So we have 6 over 9 times x to the 7th over x to the 4th. That's going to be x to the 7 minus 4 times y to the 5 minus 3. 6 over 9, we can divide both 6 and 9 by 3, so that gives us 2/3 times x to the 7 minus 4 is 3 times y to the 5 minus 3 is 2, and we are going to square this. Again, the exponent of 2 will be applied to every single factor. So that's going to be 2/3 squared times x cubed squared times y squared squared. For 2/3 squared, this exponent of 2 is going to be applied to the numerator and to the denominator. So 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, times x to the 3rd raised to the power 2. We multiply our exponents. 3 times 2 is 6. Y squared squared, we are going to multiply our exponents. 2 times 2 is 4. Here's a couple of ways that we could write this answer. We could say 4/9 times x to the 6th times y to the 4th. Or if you wanted to introduce a division bar, we had 4x to the 6th, y to the 4th in our numerator, 9 in our denominator. Either one of these would be appropriate ways to express our final answer.